Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. It's your coach here. Coach's Call on Tap. This is our Week 6 NCAA Football Pick'em show. We got Puff in Pennsylvania, Donnie in Tennessee, and our man Tristan in North Carolina. Welcome, guys. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday. We're fixing to go down the top 25 games for the weekend. We're going to change it up a little bit, kind of do it like our NFL podcast. We're going to start with the early games, start it with the 11 o'clock games. Moving to the 2:30 games in the 6. If you're anything like me, I like to go ahead and place my early bets, see how they go, if I can double up or if I have to chase or whatever I have to do. Go from my 11 o'clock to 2:30 to 6 o'clock games. I hate betting 20 games in a row, but sometimes I do it. But that's the way we're going to work this. I talked about this on the NFL podcast, guys. Give me some input, what you think. This is a 3-game road trend. I knew about this a couple of years ago. I completely forgot about it, and I follow a guy, Drew Frank, on TikTok. He's pretty good capper. He brought it up, so I thought I'd bring it up to you guys and those that are listening. It's a 3-game road trend. So these teams that are fixing to go on the road for 3 weeks in a row. Okay, you go on the road for 3 weeks in a row. You bet them to cover game 1. If they don't, then you double up game 2. If they don't, then you triple up game 3. Okay. So far this year, it's 3-0. Okay. So they might hit game 1, they might hit game 2, or might hit game 3. But there's only three teams that have gone on the road 3 weeks in a row, and they have covered. They've been able to cover. It's a 3-0 trend so far this year. Just like right now, there's 3 teams right now that I'm looking at. Bowling Green is one, Syracuse is the other, and Toledo's the other. So, for instance, Bowling Green, they started their 3-game road run last week at Georgia Tech, right? Well, they won, so they covered. They won that one. So if you would have bet it, you would already won, and you move on, right? Well, they already won that one, so they've got Miami. You can bet them to cover 1 unit against Miami. If they don't, then you double up the next week versus Buffalo. Syracuse, the 2 teams that start this week, the first one is Syracuse against UNC. Okay, they're a dog against UNC, so you put a unit for them to cover against UNC, I'm sorry. If they don't, they go to Florida State the next week. You bet them double time to cover against Florida State. If they don't, then they got Va-Tech week 3. Okay, they're going to cover one of those 3 weeks, and then you got Toledo. Toledo starts this week at UMass. You bet them to cover against UMass. If not, then you double up the following week against Ball State, and if not, then you triple up against Miami, Ohio the 3rd week. So far, it's 3-0. I'm going to follow this trend. I'm actually probably going to bet the Syracuse Toledo, so I can get the full 3 weeks. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? There with those guys. So far this year, there's been 3 teams that have done it, and they've covered. So even though you lose the first week in a unit, you double up the next week, they'll cover that. So they're going to have to not cover 3 weeks in a row, and these guys usually do. Anyway, I wanted to throw that at you. Any input on that? You guys ever heard of that or believe in that?
I haven't heard of it. There's going to be trends that happen that we just can't see. I mean, when you're talking about, 100 games a week and, the data that you can pull from all the different games with, win conditions and different things, you're going to hear something like this. And hey, as long as it's working, you ride it until the wheels fall off. I mean,
right.
That's a trend. I mean, that's what a trend is. Ride it until it breaks. So, that's what we do.
Puff?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like basically you're taking a team to cover one. You gotta cover eventually, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a roulette wheel. You keep on playing black and gotta hit eventually. I mean, but I like the method. It's good. I mean, take a good chance with it. Get it done.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow it. It's right now it's Syracuse and Toledo. See what they can do. Basically, I already have Syracuse to cover against UNC, but we'll get to that here in a minute. Tristan, got anything to add on that trend?
No,
I've ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I've never heard of it. We can get going.
All right, I'll keep you guys up to date. Again, I'm not going to take credit for this. I did hear it before, but I do follow Drew Frank on TikTok. You guys at Drew Frank, you can follow him. He's got a lot of good information. He's been doing this for about 30 years or something like that. So anyway, follow him. And in saying that, you can follow us on TikTok also. Coaches Call Zero on TikTok. We're posting a lot of our plays and everything, especially closer to game time. So make sure you follow us on Coaches Call Zero on TikTok. All right, guys, let's start with the 11 o'clock games. We've got number 23 LSU. What a roller coaster that team has been this season. Number 23 LSU, they're a 4.5-point favorite at Missouri. It's an 11 o'clock game. Mizzou loves those early games. They've got a flair for the freaking dramatic at home. I'm going to start this off, guys. I just think it's been too tough, a couple of tough weeks for LSU. I just don't think they can cover. I'm not saying they don't win, but I like Missouri at home. I like what they're doing. I like how they play at home. Their fans are fanatics, all 20,000 of them. I like Missouri plus 4.5 at home. Puff, what do you think about this game?
Yeah. So first of all, Discord. If you ain't joined that, make sure you join that. We got a few Mizzou guys down there that are in Discord that go there. But this is a night game. I think Missouri wins outright. But with LSU and the way that game was last week, I think they come out this week fired up, ready to rock and roll. I think they win this game by probably like 10 points, 10 to 7 points. So I like LSU to cover this week.
There we go. Tristan, what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm going to be on LSU for a bounce back game, but I mean, I don't know if you call it a bounce back game. I mean, they played well. They just came out on the wrong. They came out on the wrong side of it. I know Missouri has been rolling, but I'm going to be on the LSU train.
There we go. Donnie, what do you got?
I mean, this Missouri team's coming in at 5-0, undefeated. I mean, they set up their schedule the right way. They picked. They went to the bakery and they got a bunch of cupcakes. Then their first SEC game was Vanderbilt, which is again another cupcake. Now they actually get to face this test. This test is going to be the meat and potatoes of the SEC, and it should not be close. LSU should waffle stomp these poor boys. And unfortunately, I know you're all 5-0. I know you're all happy, but I mean, let's be serious. The best team you beat was Vanderbilt. That's not saying much.
And LSU, I mean, they're in the middle of their gauntlet. This is basically like a bye week for them. I'm thinking this is basically a bye week for them. That's why I like Missouri at home. Give me the plus 4.5. The big one, boys. This is the game of the week as far as I'm concerned. I've been to this Red River rivalry twice live. It is a madhouse. It is unbelievable. It is the state fair. It is beer in wax cups. It is funnel cakes. It is fried Oreos, fried Snickers. These people go at it like nobody else. There's no two people on the face of the earth that hate each other more than an Austin and an Oklahoma. This is a hatred. Throw the records out the book. Throw all the numbers away. I don't give a shit who the quarterback, who the receiver is, who has what. It doesn't matter. Throw it out because you're talking about a fucking brawl. Here we go, boys. We got number 12 Oklahoma versus number 3 Texas. Texas has gone down to minus 5.5. I'm going to start with you, Tristan. What do you think about the Red River rivalry here?
Yeah, so looking at this line, for a rivalry game, the spread feels a little big and it feels a little inflated. So for that reason, I'm going to be on Oklahoma to cover, but I don't think Oklahoma wins. I really think Texas wins. They win by like 3, and I also like the under.
There you go. Well, the line has dropped. I think didn't it start around 7.5? Donnie, let's just go straight to you, Donnie.
Yeah, it did. It started up higher and it's come down. It's come down because a lot of money is coming in on Oklahoma. I said it from the start of the year. I thought Oklahoma was going to win this. They are, by a lot of people's power rankings, a lot of the big power rankings have them at number 1 in the nation. They are a scoring machine. Their defense is not that good, but they are built to throw the ball, and Texas seems to be built to stop the run. So this should be a good game. I do like Oklahoma, and I do like Oklahoma to win. I don't know about the under. I think this game soars. Oklahoma's going to score, and if Texas wants to, Texas is going to be able to break off some big plays if they can throw the ball, because Oklahoma's secondary has got some holes, but they're going to have to score to keep up. So I think this game goes over, and I do like Oklahoma.
Gotcha. Puff, let's go to you. You're a huge UT fan.
The song Text Fight on the road to victory. Let's go. Come on. Hey, Tony, you're talking about these cupcakes that who is it? Missouri played. Well, let's talk about the cupcakes that fucking Oklahoma, that shitty school above Texas, has played. Cincinnati, Tulsa, SMU, Arkansas State, and Iowa State. What the fuck are we talking about here? Let's go. Texas by 1,000,000. We're going to steamroll them. Quinn's going to go for like 400 yards. Worthy's going to have 3 touchdowns. It's going to be an easy day in the office for the boys. But best play for this game, we play every year, Coach. Ever since I joined the Discord, the first half over. Every year it hits, every single year. First half over. That's why I'm gonna be playing. Not playing a side because I'm either gonna be heartbroken or happy. Let's go Texas, UT baby.
I hear you. Okay, really quick. Let me run down what my feelings on this. I'm with you, Donnie. I'm with you. Oklahoma's built to throw. Texas built to run. Texas has some holes in the secondary. Oklahoma's defensive line isn't Alabama's defensive line. I don't see anybody stopping anybody here. The only reason they stop each other is mistakes or whatever. With that being said, I'm going to wait. I told you guys this already. I think I'm going to wait till about 6 or 7 minutes left in the ball game, see who the dog is, and I'm going to take them at plus money because I think whoever has the ball last wins. I do like the over, Donnie. I'm with you. I just Oklahoma's offensive line is built different than Alabama's offensive line. I think they're built for the passing game. Because of that, I think Oklahoma's going to put up some points. I think Texas is going to put up some points. This is going to be one hell of a ball game. But I can't say it. I'll get kicked out of A&M if I say it. So I'm not going to pick a side on this game. I'm going to just let it.
You got to say it. You got to say it.
Come on. All right, for all you Texags that are listening, please forgive me. This is strictly off of what I see, but I see Texas winning. I see Texas winning. That's all.
And covering.
That's all.
And covering. You got to say covering.
Yes, I get. Okay, give me Texas minus 5.5, boys. I'm on Texas minus 5.5. Sorry, fellas, son of a bitch. That hurts. That hurts bad. Okay. Moving on, not fast enough, but let's move on. Maryland at 5-0 goes to the mighty Ohio State, number 4 in the nation. Ohio State's given 20.5 points. Let me tell you something, guys. I'll start this off right now. I don't give a shit if it was 13. Maryland's going to cover. Maryland might beat these fools. I'm not buying into the Ohio State thing. I really am not, especially at 11 o'clock in the morning. If it's a night game and you had game day and it was rah, 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 and Ohio State was really, really good, maybe. But Maryland goes into Ohio State, not only covers, they might upset, giving Maryland plus the points. Tristan, let's start with you. What do you think about my pick, buddy?
I'm going to agree. I mean, if I'm going to put actual money on it, I'm going to buy it to 21. Just to cover my ass. But yeah, I actually agree. I think, isn't it Tua's little brother plays for Maryland? Tagovailoa? Yeah. Yeah, he has, dude, he's a good quarterback. And so give me Maryland to potentially keep this within 10.
There we go. Puff, go ahead.
Man, I absolutely love this game. I said it last week, or I said in the Discord, I said this Maryland team has not been getting talked about one bit at all. Like College Game Day don't talk about them. No ESPN, no other like media outlet talks about them. But I watched them play multiple times this year. This team can throw the rock, and they can put up a lot of points. It's just a matter of their defense that's a little shaky. But Ohio State's offense this year has not shown anything that's special. So I like Maryland to cover. And like you said, Coach, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like one of them big upsets.
I'm telling
crazy.
you.
Yeah.
It smells pretty sweet from my end. Donnie, what do you think, buddy?
Here's an interesting couple of stats for you. Maryland or Ohio State has only beaten 2 teams by 20 plus this year. One of them was Western Kentucky, and the other one was Youngstown State, and they only beat them by 28. They beat Indiana by 20, and then they had a really close game of 3 versus Notre Dame, and they probably should have lost that one. But the real thing that I looked at when I was looking at this game was both teams have played Indiana. Ohio State beat them 23-3. Maryland beat them 44-17. So if you're saying all things are equal, how is that number not a lot lower? That number looks real that number looks fishy, but I do understand it. Everybody is betting Ohio State, and that's where the numbers are coming from. They think Ohio State at home is going to go in, where Maryland had Indiana at home versus going to Indiana. So I do understand it, but I think Maryland keeps this game close, and I think it's a 10 to 13 point game, but I think Ohio State wins, but I don't think they can blow them out.
I like it. I like it.
Consensus.
I think also one more thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are still thinking this Ohio State team is that Ohio State team of the past. They think this is like the powerhouse team that was used to run college football, when they are nothing like that this year. They're not even close. They don't have any of the talent that they've had in previous years. That's why I think Maryland has an advantage in this game to come in and shock it.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Let's move on. Probably the stinkiest, smelliest, fishiest line that I've seen in the top 25 is number 13 Washington State going to UCLA, who's 3-1, and UCLA is given 3.5 to Washington State. Stinks to high heaven. You guys know I've been on Washington State all year long. I don't know why Washington State isn't the favorite here. Something stinks. Tell me why it stinks, Donnie.
It stinks because everybody and their mother thinks that UCLA is that good. I've said from the start I didn't think the Pac-12 was that great, and I've taken a lot of criticism for it, and they've proven me wrong. They have looked very good at games. If this game was at Washington State, this would probably be flipped to the other side at -3. So they're giving the home field advantage about a 6 to 7 point swing. I think this game is pretty much Washington State's to lose. I don't see them, fumbling the ball. They out rush them. They out pass. Well, they don't out rush them. They out pass them by about 150 yards a game. And then the defense does allow a lot more passing yards, but UCLA is not built for the pass. So I think Washington State wins this game, and I think they win it outright. So yeah, I'll take Washington State.
There we go. Tristan, what do you think?
Oh boy. That old dreaded hook on the end of that. I'm gonna take UCLA at home.
I got you.
To cover.
Just got the feeling.
Yeah, I'm going to take UCLA at home to cover.
You like their colors. That's the thing. Just go ahead and say it.
Yeah, they're nice and pretty, so I'm going to take UCLA.
There you go. Tecmo Bowl colors. What do you think, Puff?
Not going to lie. I'm using the college basketball method in here. Anytime an unranked team is favored against a ranked team, I'm going to take that unranked team all day. So I'll take UCLA minus the 3.5 because the line doesn't why is the ranked team not favored? That's my first question.
They're both ranked.
And that's gonna bait so many people in to take Washington State because they see that 13 next to their name. So I'll take UCLA with that all day. Actually, I think I'm gonna bet this too for a decent amount.
All right, go ahead and donate it. I'll tell you what, number 13 Washington State's going to go in there. They're going to go in there and just take care of business really, really early. I think Vegas is going to eat on this one. I like Washington State. I'm going to ride her till she bucks you. Don't ride her at all. Give me Washington State, man. I like them plus the 3.5 on the road. Here's the other one. Now, this is one of those the trend game that I was telling you about. Syracuse is 4-1. They're going to UNC, number 14 in the nation. UNC number 14 in the nation. I never thought I'd say that. UNC is favored by 8.5 at home. Now, the line, this is another one where the line's gone down a little bit. Donnie, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it started around 9.5 or 10. Now it's at 8.5. Make some sense of this for me, Donnie, please.
It's come down a little bit because, honestly, just the money. I mean, it's just pure money that's coming in on Syracuse, but it looks like it's a lot of public money. So I expect this game to be one of those little small reverse line movements we have during the middle of the week. And then I think the Sharps come in and eat, after it moves down a little bit. Hey, Sharps want it to come down. They want it under 9. If they gets to 8.5, expect them to hammer it so hard that, it builds a house. So I'm actually going to take North Carolina. Gosh, I hate the 9 as a number, but I think they win, and I think they can put an extra, couple of tutties on them. So I'll say North Carolina to cover.
I got you, Puff. What do you got, buddy?
Man, I look at the Syracuse team. Last year, they had they had the best defense in college football. And this year, they got almost all their guys back. They got a really good deal. Last week was the real test. They played Clemson. They lost 31-14. But I looked through their other games, and they all put up 30 or more every game. So I like Syracuse. I think Syracuse will be able to hang with them this game because they finally got offense. Their defense is amazing. Look, why are you shaking your head?
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Just because you live in North
You
Carolina,
don't
you
know
love
what
Drake
you're
May.
talking about.
How?
Okay.
How do I know what I'm talking about?
Listen, okay, Coach, can I go?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
North Carolina has a Heisman runner at helm at quarterback. He's going to fucking destroy Syracuse. He's probably going to beat them by 3-4 touchdowns. This isn't even going to be close. You say, Syracuse, they struggle because they played Clemson. It's not because they played Clemson. Clemson's not even the best team in the ACC.
Get the fuck out of here.
They're not. When Clemson plays North Carolina later this year, they're going to fucking lose. So give me North Carolina
buy a point,
to cover.
make it 10.5, and call it a day. If you want to do it, Tristan. Hey, the way you're talking, are you thinking what I'm thinking, Tristan?
No, I'm not thinking that. I don't do jersey bets over in fucking college football.
Oh, okay. All right, my bad.
All right, so Puff.
I really think that they'll be able to score. They'll be able to score them in that defense. Look, don't be surprised if the Orange come to town and fucking beat them. Don't be surprised.
Puff's on Syracuse. Tristan's on UNC. Obviously, of course. Syracuse, man, 4-1 ATS now. The only time they didn't cover was last week. This is a scary little game
add
for
to that fucking tally this week.
Oh yeah, we'll see there, buddy.
This is a scary game, but you know what? 8.5. It's a lot. I'm probably betting the first half. But give me the Qs. Give me Syracuse, the Orangemen, plus 8.5 on the road. Moving on, Virginia Tech, 2-3 Virginia Tech, poor guys, at Florida State, number 5 in the nation, Florida State. Florida State's given 24. Okay, I really think personally, Florida State is it's just overvalued. It's lost for me. They've lost their luster. I was really excited at the beginning of the year the way they came out, and then they've just been playing some mediocre ball against some mediocre teams, and I'm really not impressed. Are they number 5 in the nation? Probably. This football season hasn't impressed me at all. Really, when we're talking about the Pac-12 being probably the best conference in the nation, it's really a bad season for football altogether. But still, it's Virginia Tech. I don't know that. I mean, is this one of those where Florida State comes out and just lays another egg and scores 13 points in 3 quarters and then doesn't cover the 24? But again, it's Virginia Tech. It's in the middle of the day. Florida State has got to right the ship. It hurts me to say, I'm going to take Florida State minus 24. Puff, what do you got?
I love Florida State in this game. Virginia Tech, they just beat Pitt last week, which is like, it's like their Super Bowl pretty much, and they're gonna come to Florida State and just absolutely get their shit kicked out of them. So yeah, I could never put money on Virginia Tech. They're horrible. It seems literally one of the worst teams in college football. So
Tristan, what do you got? Okay. Oh, sorry, Puff. My bad. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. I'm just saying. I look at their resume. They lost to Purdue, and Purdue's like the worst team in college football. Worst Power 5 school in college football. So, I could never put money on Virginia Tech.
Or Virginia. Yeah, you're right. Tristan, what do you got, bud?
Puff's not wrong with Virginia Tech being one of the worst teams in college football, but I mean, let's not sit here and act like Florida State's world beaters. They should have lost to Boston College. They should have lost to Clemson. And I get it, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But you're gonna hang 4 or 5 touchdowns on a ACC team? No, I don't think so. Give me Virginia Tech.
Gotcha. Donnie, what do you got?
I'm with Tristan here, but I'm for a different reason. I've seen a trend over the last few years. If a team is favored by over 20 and the over under is less than half of that, which it is in this game, it came in at 51.5. It's up to 53.
Yes.
It needs to get up to it needs to get up higher than that. I mean, that's a big number. Like you're saying that they got to beat them, 38-14. Yeah, 38-14 or something like that. I mean, I do think I think FSU coming off a bye week does help that, but maybe it's the opposite that Puff was saying. Maybe, they won their Super Bowl, but now maybe they got confidence, and a team with confidence is scary. So I really like, and I'll be making this play. I like Virginia Tech first half spread, which I think is 15, or I think
Something
14,
like
or it's like 14 or 15. It's really big. I'll be definitely making that first half play, but I do like Virginia Tech in this one.
There we go. All right, boys. We got Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher head-to-head, 2:30 game. Alabama, number 11, Alabama comes to Kyle Field to face my Aggies. Bama has gone down to a 1-point favorite. I think this line started at about a nickel or something. It's gone all the way down to 1. We're at A&M. It's a 2:30 game. I've got my feelings on this. You guys know I don't bet my Aggies because I love to watch my Aggies. But let's go ahead and start with a hater. Puff, what do you think about the Bama coming into Kyle Field?
Man, they're going to Kyle Field every year. That Bama has to go to Kyle Field. They seem to find a way to fuck up. So as much as it pains me to say this, as a Texas fan, all my Texas fans, I'm sorry. I think A&M wins this game outright, and it's going to be one hell of a game. I think it's going to be very low scoring, though. I don't think there's going to be that many points.
Thank you, Puff. Tristan, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I'm on A&M. I think we're overdue for Bama to go ahead and take one on the chin. I think they have a quarterback issue. They have an entire offense issue, if I'm being honest. But I think A&M. I think that it would, especially with it being at home, A&M is going to take care of business here, I think. So give me A&M to cover.
I got you. Donnie, what do you got?
It's an interesting game. I mean, they both took a loss the same week 2, and now they're both seeming to be playing righted the ship and playing better ball. A&M's coming off victories at Auburn and Arkansas, and Alabama's coming off victories at Mississippi and Mississippi State. For that, I got to go with who the best coach is, and the best coach in the land is still Nick Saban until they prove me wrong. So if I've got to throw 1 point either way, I'll take the Crimson Tide.
I love that we're under the radar. I just absolutely love. Nobody's talking about the Aggies. We still suck. If it ever comes up in our Discord, if it ever comes up on TikTok, if it ever comes up anywhere, I mean, we're horrible. We lost to Miami. I mean, we lost to Miami. How we beat Auburn, I think Puff is the one that made a big stink about how the fuck did we beat Auburn, or how does Auburn lose to a horrible A&M team? How do we? I don't know what happens, how it goes, or whatever. I love the way we're playing. I love our quarterback Johnson. Max Johnson gives us a run threat now. I love everything that's going on at A&M. I love just everything that's happening over in Kyle Field. So for that matter, give me my Aggies to beat Bama again in Kyle Field. Gigamags! All right, boys. We
Can't
have
wait
talked
for that
about,
copyright strike.
Yeah.
we have been talking about this team. I have been high on the hog on this Kentucky team. Love the way they play. I know there's a bunch of guys on the Discord that hate my guts because I tend to pick them all the time, but they're winners. Stoops finds a way, and they cover, and they beat teams like Florida, and they just come out and do what they're not supposed to do week in and week out. In saying that, it's time for Georgia to buck up. And I'm going to put my money, like Donnie said, I'm going to put my money on a better coach here because he's got to do something. I know Georgia doesn't look good. They don't finish people off, blah, 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 blah. I get it. But they've got to come out and put up some numbers or they're in trouble, boys. Because they're going to lose. Eventually, they're going to lose. It ain't going to be this game, but they're going to have to put up some numbers. At 6 o'clock in the evening at Georgia, give me Georgia, minus 14 because I'm going to buy the hook because I ain't a pendejo. I'm going to buy the hook. Give me Georgia, minus 14 with number 20 Kentucky coming into town. Donnie, go ahead.
Yeah, this is you've said it. I mean, Kentucky has looked very good this year. They have put up some points. The thing that worries me on this game is the over under at 47.5. I looked through the history and I don't see any games at 47 outside of the Akron and Kentucky, which was 38. Every other game has been way over 47. So I don't know where that number came from. I think this game definitely goes over. That seems like a very low number. I expect it to climb before the game starts. And maybe they're thinking, Kentucky hasn't faced a very good defense, even though, some people from Florida might disagree with me. I do think Georgia rights the ship. I think Auburn on the road, they're coming home. I think the game probably does start out a little slow, but Georgia has shown themselves to make great adjustments in the second half and then come out and execute those adjustments. So I'm going to take Georgia here, and I'm definitely taking the over.
There we go. Tristan, what do you got, buddy?
Donnie hit the nail on the head with the way Georgia goes into a halftime, and then they're all like they look like shit, and then they go into halftime, and then it's like balls to the walls. But at what point does that bite them in the ass? At what point does it catch up to them when they don't fucking like they just cannot? I don't know. Georgia does not deserve number one. I'm gonna go ahead and say that outright right now. They do not deserve to be number one. I think the name alone is the only reason they're number one. They should have fallen back a few spots. With that being said, give me Kentucky to cover and give me Kentucky to scare the absolute shit out of Georgia on Saturday night and damn near beat their ass.
I like it, Tristan. I like everything you said. Georgia is not a Florida. I mean, that's two different animals. So I know what you mean. I respect everything you said, and it's a possibility. It really is. I just think Georgia is geared differently, and I like that coach. I like that coach better than Florida's coach. I like the halftime adjustments, like you stated. I like Georgia coming out. It might be tie game at halftime, but Georgia's going to run the table in the second half. Go ahead, Puff. Tell me I'm wrong.
Let me make the graph. Fuck around, find out. Georgia's going to fuck around and find out this weekend because this Kentucky team they are the real deal. Leary at quarterback, man, he's good. They know how to run their offense. They can get it moving. I genuinely think that this is going to be a scary game for Georgia, where it's going to be like Auburn last week, where it's going to come down to last possession, where they're going to have to make a play to win the game. And I think that Kentucky can possibly win this game and upset them, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. So I'll take that 14.5 all day.
I got you. One
thing I'll note,
that. Go ahead, Donnie.
One thing I'll note that we saw last week, Brock Bowers finally came out of his slump. He had 160 yards and a tutty. I think that's been the thing that they've been missing. He started the season very, very slow, and everybody expected him to be, one of the top performers in the SEC. So that he's gonna be one of the keys to the game.
I got you, and I agree with that too. One thing though, to Tristan's thing, they don't deserve to be number one. You got to be knocked off the number one spot to get to the number one spot. That's the only reason they're there until they get beat, But I agree with you. They don't look like a number one team in the nation, but they will the second half of this game. Let's go move on real quick. Number 10, Notre Dame. It's a 6.5 point favorite at Louisville. Louisville, number 25 in the nation, and they're 5-0. It's a 6:30 game. Puff, let's go ahead and start with you. It's your neck of the woods. What do you think about that shit?
Yeah, Jake Plummer, man, Louisville, he got them boys rolling this year. I ain't gonna lie. I like 6.5. I like that number. I I'm probably gonna buy half a point, make it 7, so that way I get a push if they lose my touchdown. But I'll take Louisville +7 against Notre Dame. I was big on Notre Dame this year, but after that game last week, they don't deserve any of this. I think Louisville is gonna cover. They possibly will win because they're playing at home too. That place is gonna be rocking 5-0, working on 6-0. Let me yeah.
Tristan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Sam Hartman's gonna come out and remind everybody why he's probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks of football. Give me Notre Dame by murder.
Holy cow, Donnie, what do you think about murdering?
Murder's a good number here. You're talking about Notre Dame has only lost to Ohio State, and it was a close game. Then they had a letdown game versus Duke. But if you want to compare like numbers to like numbers, which I love doing, NCSU versus Louisville last week, 13-10, but Notre Dame blew them out of the water, 45-24. That I get it. Night game going into Louisville might be worth 5 or 6 points, but I still see this as a 14 to 20 point game. So I'll take Notre Dame by murder.
Yeah, Louisville's one of those teams like Cincinnati for me. Louisville, Cincinnati, they just always tend to screw up a good evening. I don't give a shit what it is, when it is. Could be a Tuesday, a Thursday, a Friday, but you sit there, you get all excited. They're number 25 and 5-0, and then you put $100 or $1,000 and they shit the bed. You know what? Screw Louisville. Give me Notre Dame. Hartman, get your head out of your ass. Throw for about 500. Let's get back in the Heisman race. You got the best hair in football. You got the best fucking beard in football. Show up, show out. Give me number 10 Notre Dame minus the 6.5 at Louisville. Sorry about that. At Louisville. All right, next game we got Archie at number 16, Ole Miss. Ole Miss, 11.5 point favorite. This is a night game at Ole Miss. Arkansas, they do this every year, Donnie. Tell me if I'm wrong. Puff, tell me if I'm wrong. You follow these guys. There's all the hype on Archie. They're going to turn it around. They got a great coach, which they do. They got a big-ass quarterback, which they do. They keep games close. They win a couple here or there. And then we go to Dallas, and A&M beats them.
No way.
And then they go somewhere else and they get beat. And then they go and then they just start falling off the fucking map. I think they have fallen. And now you got to go to Ole Miss. Now you got to go to the Grove at night in that stadium with the fireworks, with everything going on. I think Ole Miss beats these fools by 20, 21 points. Give me Ole Miss minus the points at night. Puff, go ahead.
I say it every week. This Ole Miss team, I love them. I might be a closet Ole Miss fan at this point, to be honest. But at home, late night, Jackson Dart. Yeah, I love Ole Miss. I think they win by 21 plus.
Magic happens there. Tristan, what do you got?
So I watched a podcast, and it was the Book It Sports podcast. Trent Attia, they do a podcast, and him and Mikey over, they did it, and they were at this game, and the last game that Ole Miss won. They said the Grove is one of the fucking craziest places to play, especially.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
That place is rocking. I don't even know how Arkansas stands a chance. Give me Ole Miss.
Donnie?
This is a fishy line. It really is. I hate this line because it should be a lot more than 11.5. I mean, you're going to tell me that A&M beat them by 12 and Ole Miss at home in a night game is only 11.5? We all know Ole Miss can score a lot of points. This seems really weird. I hate this line. It looks fishy. Looks like Vegas knows something, like they're trying to grab some money. I'm going to take the over for betting purposes because I do think this game goes over. If I've got to pick, I'll definitely pick Ole Miss because, I think this game should be a 14 to 17 point line minimum. But take the over. There's no way this game does not soar over that number. Because Ole Miss has shown a propensity to throw the ball. And I mean, 63 points is just not enough. But I think if this number was 14 to 17, I would hammer Ole Miss. But with it being 11.5, something just looks weird. So I still think you got to take Ole Miss just because principle.
There you go. Puff, what do you got, bud?
Donnie, the reason why that line's so low is because they lost to A&M by 2, LSU by 3, and BYU by 7. So their 3 losses have been to close games.
I thought they lost more than that. I apologize.
No, that's why their line's so low, I think. So I think it's a good spot to buy.
I thought they lost. I thought they lost by 12 to A&M.
No, they only lost by. Oh shit, they did lose by 12.
Yeah.
My bad. I thought it said 34-32. But I think it's a good spot to buy Ole Miss. Like, to be honest, I think.
I'm going to buy it. So yeah,
if you guys have never gone and you listeners have never gone to the Grove, you need to go at night. It's a really, really special place. Great people. Those fans are amazing. My wife took me and a cousin of hers. We went. I think we were undefeated at the time when we went to go, and they beat us, and they beat us soundly. And that place is not a place you want to. College football at night on the road is a tough thing to do. And Ole Miss is one of those things. So if you get the chance, go check it out. Definitely be watching this game because it's going to be, I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot better than this freaking game. Number 2, Michigan, -19 at Minnesota, 6:30. I don't know why it's at night. They should just get it over with, played about 8 o'clock in the morning because I got Michigan beating these fools by 30 or more. Minnesota, Michigan's got a cakewalk. They don't even have to prove anything to beat Minnesota by fucking 21 points. That's my opinion. Give me Michigan minus the points. Donnie, what do you got?
well, I mean, Michigan's number 2 in the nation, and somebody was like, I think it was Tristan said, Georgia doesn't deserve to be number 1. Well, if Michigan would beat somebody besides Nebraska, Rutgers, Bowling Green State, they could probably knock them off. But instead, they're not. They're beating cupcakes. I mean. That said, they're beating the crap out of them. So Minnesota is going to be kind of their first test, but I mean, I don't think it'll be a test. I think 19 is not enough points. I think this is a 24, 27 point game.
What's the total on that, Donnie?
Total on that one is 46.
Yeah. Okay. Now I don't see Minnesota scoring at all. It might be, 30 to nothing. I don't who knows. Tristan, what do you got?
Just give me Michigan.
There you go. Puff.
Yeah, I said it last week that Michigan was due to beat the team's ass, and they beat the shit out of Nebraska. Shout out Matt Rule.
Fuck Matt Rule. Fuck Matt Rule.
But I think you're right. I think Michigan finally got the ball rolling, and they found their groove. I think that they'll probably win this game similar to last week, like 45-7, something like that.
There you go. Next game, we got Georgia Tech at number 17, Miami. Miami is a 21-point favorite. This is a night game in Miami. I think Miami's off of a bye week. Georgia Tech just got off of getting their ass beat by Bowling Green when Georgia Tech, I believe, was a 21-point favorite. The wheels are falling off at the Tech. Number 17, Miami, -21. Give me Miami minus the 21. I hate laying so many points, but Georgia Tech, that's just another dumpster fire. Give me Miami -21. What do you think, Puff?
Yeah, Georgia Tech's god awful. And then this Miami team, I said at week 1 that they're actually going to be good this year. And they actually got the ball rolling. So I like Miami in this game. I think they win by 30.
There we go. Tristan?
Something odd with this line. There's something a little weird.
Here we go.
There's something a little weird with this line because, Miami's a pretty good ball club, right? Georgia Tech sucks. Well, why is this line not like -34.5 or something? So
because nobody would bet it.
Bullshit. I've seen y'all lay fucking -45. Bullshit. So give me Georgia Tech to fucking cover.
Donation. Donnie, do you agree with Tristan or what?
Actually, I do, but for a different reason.
Damn
Miami's
right.
Miami's coming off of a bye week, and guess who they got to face next week?
Florida State.
North Carolina.
Oh,
And they will get
well,
that
it doesn't
ass
matter.
beat.
It's another bye week.
But here's the kicker. They got to go to North Carolina. You don't think those fools might be looking ahead a little bit? We got a bye week, and then we got to face this poor Georgia Tech team, and then we're gonna go take care of business at North Carolina. I think they win, but I don't think they cover. I think it's probably a 14-17 point game.
There we go. All right. Well, I love it when we don't ever agree on fucking anything on this podcast. All right.
Hey, we agreed on Michigan and Ole Miss.
True.
And Maryland.
All right. Number 24, Fresno State. You know what? You guys, we talk about the Discord, and this is why we talk about the Discord, because this fucking Donnie guy All right. He gives you picks and all this other shit. But then it's late at night and you're like, hey, Donnie, what else you got? You got anything? Everybody's asking. And this guy comes up with this bullshit about, hey, first half under Fresno State and do over here at Boise and go over here to Wyoming. And you're like, who the hell's playing? Are they really? And he's always hitting on these things. So make sure you go to the Discord and bug Donnie. Ask him for the late. He's really good at these late half plays. I mean, he's gotten me out of a lot of trouble. So we got number 24, Fresno State -5.5 at Wyoming. Wyoming, who's 4-1. Now they're at home. It's a 7:00 game. Wyoming's not a bad football team. Fresno State's pretty good defensively, don't they? Donnie, I'm going to start with you because I know that there's a lot of unders in this game. Just fuck it. I'm going to shut up. Tell me about this game, Donnie.
So, yeah, Fresno State has been playing great defensive ball this year. I think they're averaging about like 13 or 14 points per game. I mean, it's not a lot. They're only giving up less than 200 yards passing and less than 100 yards receiving. So they're giving up less than 300 yards per game. That said, Wyoming's not playing bad either. I think they're at like 350, 360 yards per game. So I think this game set at 44. Everybody agrees that this is going to be a low-scoring game. I have done very, very well with Fresno State, especially in the first half this year. I think that they do win this game, and I think they do cover. That said, I really, really like them first half line. First half is going to be set at -3, which is a field goal. Buy it down to 2.5 and take that first half and make some money. But yeah, these late games, you can watch during if you watch the lines during the early games, you can kind of see how the day is going, see where teams are thinking, and then you make adjustments as the games get later. So we've done very well with it in the Discord, and hopefully that trend keeps going.
And we're probably going to take the under at some point in time in that fucking game if I know Donnie as well as I do. Tristan, what do you got?
Is this we're talking about the same Wyoming team that took Texas to the brink?
Yo, hey.
Yeah.
On,
Puff. Hold on, Puff. Hold on, Puff. Go suck on a squirrel for a second. Tristan's talking. What do you got, Tristan?
I would think if bookmakers thought that Fresno was like the clear-cut winner in this game, that this line would be a little bigger. So give me Wyoming to cover. I don't know that they win. I think they lose by like a field goal.
All right. What do you got, Puff? Go ahead. Your turn.
Yeah. If the books would have thought Fresno's going to win this game, it should be at 7.5, 8 points, but it's not. So, and this Wyoming team, their only loss is to the best team in college football.
Oh God! Here we go.
I look at that and I think,
my God,
man, Wyoming at home. Great.
Just give us your pick. Let's go.
Wyoming gonna win. Sorry, Coach. Wyoming gonna win.
Greatest team in football. Come on, Puff. You got to just keep rubbing that shit in, right? That's what you do. Cocksucker.
We'll see how he talks this weekend.
I know. Give me Wyoming to win at home. They beat Fresno State. Not only cover, they beat them. With Donnie, though, I think it's going to be, 17-13, 20-17. It's going to be another low-scoring game, but I think Wyoming can get the ball out there one or two times enough to win. So give me Wyoming on the money line at home against 24 Fresno State. And then we got Oregon State. We got the Beavers, number 15. They're a 9.5-point favorite going to Cal at a 9 p.m. game Central Time. Oregon State -9.5 at Cal. Donnie, go ahead.
Yeah, Oregon State is coming off of a big win at Utah. I mean, that's a huge victory for them. Every year, it's a big game. Utah, Oregon State. That said, Cal righted the ship a little bit after getting their butt handed to them by Washington, but I don't think that's enough. I mean, I think 9.5 is not enough points. It does worry me that Oregon State has not scored a lot of points this year outside of, UCD and San Jose State. They're averaging about 28 points. But I think 9.5 is not enough. So I'm going to take the Beavers.
As we all should. Tristan, go ahead.
So both Oregon teams are kind of rolling this year, huh?
Yes, they are.
DJ Ugalele is the quarterback for Oregon State, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, give me Oregon State. I think they're going to win, and they're going to win big. They're going to keep the Oregon train rolling.
What do you got, Puff?
I like Oregon State in this game a lot.
Yeah, I don't. I just complete fade on Cal. Give me Oregon State -9, and then the last one we got Arizona going to number 9 USC. USC's given 22 points again. These guys keep giving 3 touchdowns to every team they play. Puff, what do you think? You think USC's got it in them to cover the 22?
Yeah, they might win this game by like 45, to be honest. This Arizona team stinks, man. They're fucking horrible. Give me USC by murder.
Go ahead, Tristan. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with Puff. I mean, this is going to be one of those games where USC probably score 55 points, but then they'll let Arizona score 21 or so, but they'll cover just because they outscore the shit out of them.
I got you. Donnie, throw some stats at us.
Tell us why we're wrong.
I don't know what y'all been looking at. Like, Arizona lost by 7 to Washington last week. Y'all do realize that, right? Like, Washington Washington's supposed to be one of the best teams. You know, they're number 7. And now you're going to tell me they're going to go to number 9 and lose by 21? Something seems weird here. I do think that USC does score a lot of points, but they also give up a lot of points. I've told everybody all year their defense is just full of holes. And like him or hate him, Deion showed you some holes last week. So if you don't think that they won't exploit those holes, you're wrong. I think they do jump out. I think they probably jump out to a 14 to 21 point lead, but I think Arizona makes a nice backdoor cover on it. So give me the Wildcats with the cover.
I'm going to agree with Donnie, but on the opposite side of the coaching and the opposite side of the thought. Yes, Deion showed some stuff. I agree. Arizona's not going to be able to capitalize because Arizona doesn't have the animals that Colorado does. In the same way, Deion did exploit USC. USC goes to the drawing board, fixes what they got exploited, and they come out and they beat this team by 30 some odd points. So give me USC minus the point. They're going to right the ship. If you don't think they're kind of stung a little bit, they're kind of butthurt because Colorado hung in it, they are. They're still going to hold on to that. So give me USC minus 22. Guys, you got anything else?
Oh yeah, I got a pick of the week. You're gonna have a pick of the week, you better be sure it should be one that looks like it's a very clear-cut winner. And I can explain it to you all day long. This one's easy. I have bet this team every game this year, and I'm going to continue to bet them until the wheels fall off. Vanderbilt. Why am I betting Vanderbilt, boys and girls? Well, their defense is pretty much non-existent. I think I compared them one time to a toilet and crystals or something. I mean, it's pretty bad. Now, that said, they're not playing a big powerhouse team this week. They're playing Florida Gators. Now, Florida Gators favored by 18.5. I'm not going to worry about that. I think Florida does beat them. I've said that Vanderbilt likes playing Florida because they beat Florida every so often. But we're going to look at another number that is very weird. It is 52. That is the number of total points. Now, Vanderbilt this year has not played in a game that has been under 52. Their lowest game was 56, and that was against Wake Forest. So Florida, on the other hand, has played in a few games that are under 52, but most of the time it's because the team doesn't score very much, like CLT or UK. Vanderbilt can score. They definitely can score, but they can't stop anybody. I expect Florida to do the chomp and eat and eat and eat, and they may score 52 points by themselves. So I love the over on this one. That's my pick of the week. Take it for what it's worth, but I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it up.
I love it. Tristan, you got anything?
My pick of the week is fuck Puff. Take North Carolina. They're gonna beat the shit out of Syracuse. They're gonna beat
their jersey on it, bitch.
They're gonna beat the shit out of Syracuse. Go ahead, Puff. Tell us your losers of the week.
All right, I got 3 of them. I'll make it short and sweet. All right, Iowa, their starting quarterback, he's done for the season. But you know what? They're playing Purdue at home. Iowa's gonna beat the shit out of them. Minus 134 on the money line. Take that all day. That's free. The Fighting Bilfers, I take them every week. Plus 3.5 against USF at home. I'll take that. And then Kansas, I think Jaden Daniels is coming back this weekend. So I really like Kansas against UCF. It's like they're plus 104 right now. So you can catch them. They're playing at home. I think times that game out. I think it's a night game. No, it's not a night game. It's at 3 o'clock. So I really like Kansas this weekend too to win, bounce back, and beat the shit out of UCF.
I love it. I love it. Those are some best plays of the week from Coach's Call on Tap. Remember, you can go to coachescallontap.com. You can check out our link to our YouTube channel, to our Discord. You can check out some merch and stuff like that. We're going to try to come up with some more stuff as we go on. Make sure you catch us on Coach's Call 0 on TikTok. Coaches Call 0 on TikTok, where we make our plays. These are a bunch of leans. As we get closer, we will start posting them. As we go on, we'll start posting them. And if you want those in-time live halves and stuff like that, make sure you go follow us on TikTok. Follow these guys on the Discord. They post all their shit. And they are going to check out our baseball podcast. These guys are fixing to do another baseball podcast. We are in full swing in the playoffs. I know shit about baseball. I played some college ball and I coached some college ball, but I cannot bet the MLB worth of shit. So these boys taking over that. I'm going to stay away. I'm just going to stay here and play a little golf, watch a little football. Gentlemen, I hope everybody has a great week. You guys listen. Thanks for listening. Make sure you comment, like, and share. I hope all your tickets cash. Let us know in the comments if you want to hear anything different or if you don't want to hear anything at all, but we love you guys. If y'all got anything else, fellas? All right, this is your coach with Tristan, Donnie, and Puff. CoachesCallOnTap.com. Go visit us. Until then, later.